Hello everybody, you're watching the Beanbird 2 channel where we talk about testimonies and the goodness of God. Today I was talking to my husband and I was just feeling really discouraged, and I said, you know what, I don't want to be on this ride anymore, I want off. I feel like when you're at a roller coaster or you're on a roller coaster and you have that moment where they kind of kerchunk the seatbelt on you and it's locked, and then the ride starts going up the first hill and you think, I changed my mind, I don't want to be on this ride anymore. And as I look at the news, that's exactly the sentiments that I feel. I feel like I don't want to be on this ride anymore. I want out. And I know that there's a lot of people that feel that way, that have their eyes opened. We're watchmen and watchwomen, and we're seeing the times, and a lot of what's happening is completely horrifying. And every day I just think, is Jesus coming today? He's our blessed hope, right? And Jesus tells us to discern the times. He told us that in Luke chapter 12. He was talking about how we need to be aware of the seasons. And then also in Luke chapter 12, he was talking about a thief in the night, and how you want to be a good servant is caught working and doing the master's work when he comes. And that's what we're called to do the master's work. And so I'm trying to just stay focused on doing the Lord's work that he has set before me, and trying to stay focused on the blessed hope. Because in a lot of ways, when you go out, it's like business as usual. The world is carrying on like normal, which is exactly how Jesus said it would be. When it was said that people would be giving in marriage and eating and drinking, carrying on as usual, when that's the way it was with the day that Noah entered into the ark. And we were warned that that's the way it would be when Jesus came back again. And we know that Jesus is coming back again very soon. We have all the signs around us, and we have this wonderful YouTube community here of people who are awake and following the Lord and looking for that encouragement. And I remember when I was about to give birth, there was this moment where I passed through the passive labor and transitioned into the active labor. And before I had actually started labor, I would ask the midwife, well, how will I know when I'm in active labor? And she said, you'll know that you're in active labor when you feel like you can't do it. That's when you're in active labor. Well, that moment came because I was in the hospital and I had transitioned, and I looked at my husband and I said, I want out of here. I want to leave the hospital. I want to run away, which was just foolish talk, because running out of the hospital wasn't going to change the fact that I was about to give birth. It wasn't going to take away the pains that I was experiencing. It was just that fight or flight response that I was going through of like, I'm in a lot of pain, I want to run. And that's when I knew I'm in active labor. And when I was reflecting on my conversation with my husband this morning, I was thinking about how I just felt like I can't do this. I don't have the strength to get through these times. I'm living my worst nightmare, I feel like, looking at the news. And I just had to remind myself, just like labor, that means that we're in active labor in the world. And that feeling of the fight or flight just means that Jesus is coming soon. And we see that sign all around us, and we feel the pressure, and we know that what we see right now is just shadow of what's to come. We see the genocide and the attack on Israel, and we know that God is going to always be there for his people. And we can see that this global push towards anti-Semitism is just leading the way into the persecution to come, where not only Jews are being persecuted, but also anybody who worships Jesus. And so we can see that that day is approaching, and that's why God woke us up to warn other people and to be awake for the times, and to tell people Jesus is coming soon, and we need to be about our Father's business, and to warn people that might get left behind that Jesus is the only answer. Because unfortunately, there's a lot of people that follow religion, but they don't follow Jesus. And they don't really know that they're not following Jesus because they are following tradition. They're following rituals. Maybe they're leaning on their parents' faith. But I know that you're here and you're watching this, you're doing what God has set before you. And so we want to run the race well. And I just want to give that encouragement that when you feel like you can't go on, when you feel like it's too hard, I can't do this, those are all signs that Jesus is coming, especially soon. And we look up for him every day. I believe every day is a possible day where we could meet the Lord in the air, and we want to be ready for him when he comes. So be encouraged. He sees you and he loves you, and just keep your eyes on him and lean on one another in this time. There's a lot of Christians here on YouTube that have channels that support people, and I just am encouraged to see other people that are following Jesus and talking about it and creating a community of people who can get together and lean on one another and support one another. And I think it's a beautiful thing that the Lord has blessed us with in this end days. So, because we are seeing division in family, just like Jesus warned us about in Luke 12. We're seeing father against mother and mother against daughter, and all that stuff is happening. As we see people reject us more and more for our beliefs. There's this lie that's running around of tolerance, but really it's an intolerance of believers. And I've seen that in my own life, and I'm sure you have too as well, where people are tolerant of everything except for people who believe in Jesus. And so we can only expect that part to get harder. But as the days get darker, the miracles that we see around us are bigger and brighter, and God is doing amazing works in these last days. And you are living in Bible times, and you are a watchman on the wall that the Lord has woken up to see the outskirts of the city and to warn the people that are inside the city walls of what's to come. And so it's a blessing that the Lord chose you for this day, that you are living in Bible times. And just like Esther, you've been chosen for such a time as this. This is the day that the Lord has placed you in the world perfectly, in society, in the world, to make the impact that he has set before you, to do the work that he has for you, to run the race that you have to run. And he's given you everything that you need to do the mission that he's given you. And so don't grow weary. Jesus is coming soon. Stay on the wall. Keep blowing the shofar. Keep warning. And Jesus is coming soon. Thanks.